Hey, man, we're here. We're doing this podcast.
We're doing it.
I'm so excited.
Dude, me too.
I'm really excited.
So, if you're listening, thank you for tuning in to Bledsoe Said So.
Thank you all so much.
Yeah. Who are we, Nick?
Who are we?
Yeah. Who are you?
That's the biggest question I've ever been asked.
Right? Dude,
Who are any of us?
So, I've been on like 16 interviews in the last, 5 months, and they always start with, who are you? Dude, it kills me every time. And let me tell you why. All right. When I was 13 years old, my dad was abducted literally by like what most people would call aliens, right? And it's always so hard to just recall all 14 years of that in this 30-second little elevator pitch when I go on these crazy big interviews, right? So that's, I don't know. I just thought that was a good place to start. Who are you, dude?
I like that phrasing, elevator pitch.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
It's always so awkward. Like, what do I say? Who am I? I don't know. I'm 27. I live at the beach. I like playing drums.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who am I? Oh, by the way, and like I grew up with a world famous father for seeing like aliens and like riding in their flying saucer.
Yeah, he's like he's like one of the most prolific UFO experiencers.
Well, I would say the most.
Yeah,
but I'm very biased.
Yeah, your dad's the coolest. Let's
Yeah,
be honest.
dude.
Your dad's the absolute coolest.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, this. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it on you.
Okay.
Who are you?
Didn't I just go into that? All right. So who am I? For the listener who doesn't quite know who I am, you may have heard me on like Tinfoil Hat or one of these other interviews I've done recently, and you just want to check me out. Thank you for tuning in. When I was 13 years old, dude, my dad was no, I'm just kidding.
What?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just a normal guy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I grew up with some really heavy stuff. I know I've said this, but I'm being for real now. 13 years old, this crazy stuff happens. Literally, like NASA, the CIA, Hollywood comes to my house, and dude, you were there meeting some of these people. Like you met Hal Povenmire, you met some of these people. I'm pretty sure you did.
For those of you who don't know, my name's Nick. I grew up in the same town as Ryan. We've been friends for 15 years now.
15 years.
I think.
Yeah.
So I've been around for a little bit of this stuff, and it's been the coolest journey. But yeah, continue.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's really hard to say. But it is important to point out, like, they're not aliens as we typically think of them. Like, they weren't these flesh and blood beings that, I mean, I know I said flying saucer earlier, but that was totally a joke, right?
That was a good one.
Yeah. But, well, you know, everybody's always like, oh, these little green men and these flying saucers. But they weren't. They were these beings of light. And that's why the CIA came. That's why NASA came. That's why Hollywood came. And here we are today.
That's also why we're doing this podcast.
That's
A lot of the reason why we're doing this podcast is like we don't want people to continue thinking like, oh, these are bad little green guys flying around trying to hurt us. It's like, no, this is just about consciousness and energy and spirituality.
Some pretty out there stuff.
Yeah.
And that brings us to our next point. What is the purpose of this podcast? My vision for this thing is that I'm going to keep my conscience clear. And for the first time, we're going to candidly share our thoughts and experiences with the world. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just feel like that would, I don't know, it could help a lot of people. I've gotten lots of messages. Yeah. I've gotten lots of messages. My father has had thousands over the years. You know, I saw a light in the sky. What is it? Well, you turn on the news and it's all about these like scary alien invaders and they're disabling our nukes. And I just feel like, you know, I have a duty to share what has happened to me and let people choose what they do and what they don't want to believe. That's the purpose for this podcast.
Hell yeah. I love that.
Thanks, man.
The message is a much more uplifting and positive, not scary message. It's not.
These aliens didn't stick rods inside my dad's body. You know what I mean? And first of all, they weren't aliens. Anyway, that's a pretty heavy topic that I promise we'll get more into later.
We can't wait to dig into.
Oh
some
yeah,
of this
dude,
stuff.
it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna get my dad on here. We're gonna interview him. It's gonna be
epic.
epic.
We have really, really big plans for this podcast, and we're just super happy that you're gonna be along for the ride. I think we're gonna be keeping it like pretty low key this first episode because we're just kind of trying to figure things out. But I promise it'll be fun.
Yeah. So let's get to the next point. Nick, why are you here with me?
I don't know why I'm anywhere at any given time. So,
Dude, that was deep.
No, I mean, look, we've been best friends for
15 years.
15 years. Yeah. And I am and have always been like completely bewildered and just nothing but interested in this completely different world that prior to meeting you, like I didn't even know existed. It's like all of this stuff. It's like an entire dimension that was there, and it's always been there. I just had no experience with it, and so I'm just beyond honored to be here and help you out with this.
Yeah, so how about for episode 1, we just get into some pretty light stuff and kind of get into the groove of things.
Okay.
You cool with that?
Oh yeah.
All right. What you want to talk about, man? Talk to me about Steven Universe, dude.
Okay. Wow. The first of all, I'm honored.
You know what? I'll have to check it out.
Okay. I hate you. And for anybody that doesn't know what that was, I've been begging Ryan to watch Steven Universe for weeks now. I'm obsessed with Steven Universe right now. And we've known each other 15 years.
Yeah.
Pretty much every time I try to get Ryan to watch something, he says the exact same sentence in the exact same way. And that sentence is, I'll have to check it out.
I will, dude.
But you know what? Can I be honest? I think the particularly funny thing about that sentence is the have to. Like,
Because I'm telling you the truth. Like, I have to check this out.
No.
I will have to.
You could just as easily say, I'll check it out. But what is it that makes you want to add those extra words and make me so angry?
Dude, it's urgency. I will have to check it out.
It actually feels like the opposite. It feels like the opposite of urgency. It feels like, yeah, I'll have to get to that.
Damn.
And my emotions are hurt. My emotions are hurt.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. I'll just buy a crystal and you'll feel better. It'll clear you out. Dude.
Literally, anytime I try to get Ryan to watch anything or like play a game I want him to play or listen to a song or whatever, I pretty much have to spend
years.
I was going to say hours.
Oh, shoot. I got real with you there.
I have to spend a long time like basically spoiling the entirety of whatever it is to excite Ryan enough to actually go and watch it. But anyway, how I feel about Steven Universe is I think it's like one of the best shows I've ever seen. And I think you should really watch it.
Why?
Because, dude, it makes you feel like a kid again. The show is all about like emotional maturity and being emotionally available and growing as a person. But also, like, I think the main thing that show drives home is like whoever you are, whatever you believe in, like you're okay exactly how you are. Like you're lovable and you're awesome just the way that you are. And that's really cool. I've struggled with like self-worth and even body image and stuff like that, but Steven Universe is pretty cool.
You know what, dude?
Oh my god.
I'll have to check it out.
Okay. Now I'm mad. Now I'm mad. Now I'm real mad. So let's
Wait, aren't we supposed to be talking about like UFOs or something? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's
right,
what this show's
here.
That's
Oh
what
yeah,
this
this
show's
is a UFO show.
Oh, we were thinking about our other podcast, Steven Universe Time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why don't you ask me something?
Yeah, let's switch gears.
That's pertinent to this podcast, Ryan.
How did you find out about my family's UFO story? Tell like the truth. Like,
okay. This is actually like such a good story, and I love telling this story to everybody. So Ryan and I met. We technically met in middle school.
Yeah, yeah.
I always
was in
forget
the 7th grade. You were in the 6th grade.
Really?
Yeah.
I always forget this.
I don't.
There's one thing that people will learn about me is I forget everything. So, but yeah, so we met in middle school but we didn't start hanging out until
high school.
Yeah, like you were probably like 14. I was probably 13 or something like that.
Sure.
But so like the first couple of things that we bonded on was like we both love Kill Switch Engage. That was like this.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Andy Milonakis.
Oh, we had a little trifecta there. Yeah, Andy Milonakis, Kill Switch Engage, and the I think honestly,
Dude, how could you forget?
Forget what?
Halo.
Oh my god!
Come on, dude.
We were friends right around the time that Halo 3.
Halo 3?
Yeah, right around the time that Halo 3 came out.
Yeah,
which
dude. It was about aliens.
which like
you get a shotgun and you blast aliens.
The amount of like we would spend our entire summer doing nothing but playing Halo 3, like custom games.
Yeah.
Forge. Oh my god, like the Forge mode. Yeah, we
dude.
spent countless hours playing Halo 3. But yeah, we bonded over like some of those simpler things. And then I was cool enough in Ryan's eyes to get the invite over to his house. So he invites me for a sleepover. We're gonna have a fun
actually what happened, hold on. Actually what happened was I invited you over to my house in middle school, and you on the phone told me your mom wouldn't let you come over.
Which I'm pretty sure was a lie.
Yeah, probably.
I was such a shitty kid. Like, who does that? Like, hey man, like,
my mom says I can't play.
You know what else? You know what else? That must have been like, that you must have had to muster up a little bit of courage.
Yeah.
Like the first time you ask a kid to come sleep over, like, okay, I can do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this.
Don't be weird, dude.
Hey, do you wanna like come over to my house and play Halo so you don't have to?
Dude, do you wanna watch MTV's Yo Mama?
Oh
Dude,
my god.
Yeah, dude.
That was totally a thing we both liked.
What was his name? Wilbur Valderrama or something. Dude, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
The host.
Wilbert Valderrama?
Yeah, Valderrama. Look him up.
You just cast a spell on
Alex,
me. That's not a
look
name.
him up.
Alex, look him up. He's Googling right now.
Host of MTV's Yo Mama.
I almost said Alex Valderrama.
It's Valderrama, dude.
Valderrama?
I think so.
That's some Harry
What
Potter.
is it?
That's some Harry Potter shit.
Wilbur Valderrama?
Oh my god.
Don't ever question.
You're right, dude.
That I remember.
Okay. You're right. Anyway, back on topic. I totally rejected Ryan the first time. I said my mom wouldn't let me come over, which is probably a lie. Also, we lived a quarter mile from each other. Yeah. So it's not like transportation was the issue.
No.
I could have walked to your house.
We rode the bus together for like 6 years. Like, we knew where we lived.
I was literally just like, nah, I'm good.
I tracked it with my Mazda when I was like 20. Yeah. It was a 0.6 mile. Dude.
Yeah. So we
hung out a lot eventually. That's where we're getting to here.
Eventually we did. We both grew up in Hope Mills, North Carolina, around Hope Mills and Fayetteville, North Carolina. But anyway, I finally got the invite. I got the invite. And so I went over and I'm hanging out and we're having a blast. Also, your brother Jeremy rode the bus with us. Your older brother?
I have a brother, Jeremy, that's 1 year older than me. So he always was hanging out with us too.
Oh yeah, and he's
still is.
He's the best. And so, but the first time I went over there, we had like stayed up super late playing video games.
Oh yeah.
And we went out into the kitchen to like get snacks or whatever. And Jeremy's really flippant about everything. Like he could
I
be
didn't know what you were gonna say.
there are so many words that could be used to describe Jeremy.
Yeah,
but
dude, he's Gucci.
But you, he's pretty Gucci, Fendi, Prada. But I will say, like, you gotta admit though that when Jeremy has like big news or a big anything to say, he minimizes it. And like he says it in the most like flippant.
Yeah, like here it is.
Yeah. So this is what happened. We're in the kitchen. We're getting a midnight snack. And there was like this loud noise outside. And then, by the way, the Bledsoes had like 70 dogs. Like so many dogs. I mean, so many pets in general. Dude, you had a parrot named Alex, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
You had an African gray.
That thing was cool.
It was so cool.
At the time, we had a Chihuahua,
Yeah.
Chesapeake Bay Retriever, and a Jack Russell Terrier. So we had 3 dogs and a parrot.
Okay, so I may have
But remember,
slightly exaggerated.
my grandpa had hunting dogs, and there were always like 15 dogs
right
barking
next
at
door.
night. Yeah, there were a lot of dogs on the property.
So we hear a loud noise. It was like a weird loud noise too. It wasn't like a normal. And then all the dogs started freaking out.
Yep.
And I was like, oh God. Like, I think my mind went straight to like, are we being robbed? Is somebody breaking into your house? Which is always where my mind goes. So I said, what was that? I said, like, what is that? And Jeremy, in the most flippant and like monotone way, goes, probably aliens. Those were his exact words.
and I'm like, dude, this is my new friend.
That's so
Not
true.
now.
That's so true. That was your immediate reaction. I saw Ryan like
Shrivel. I buckled.
Ryan like panicked. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, oh, they're totally like pulling my leg right now. I was like, they're completely fooling with me right now. Cause Ryan's like, dude, don't do that. This is my new friend. He just came over, dude. We're just playing Halo. Like
Halo 3.
And Jeremy's like, look, man, we got to tell him sometime.
Yeah, dude. And this was, I don't think the documentary, I think had just come out too. So it was like, we definitely pulled that up. We probably watched it that night. I don't remember. Dude, it was summer break. So we probably stayed up till like 8
No, you know what
in the
we
morning.
did? You know what? Interestingly enough, I actually remember. We went to the Red Room, which was like your second living room, your second living room.
Yeah.
And it was called the Red Room just because the walls were red.
Yeah, the walls were red
Yeah.
for like a few years.
And we just went back there and just talked to your dad.
Yeah.
We just went back. It was you and me. Jeremy was there for a bit, and then Jeremy's always been obsessed with WoW, so
Yeah.
it was like he was in the convo for like a good 10-15 minutes, and then he went to play WoW. But we went.
That's World of Warcraft. I am not sponsored by them.
For the uninitiated, it's a video game called World of Warcraft. It's pretty small. Most people have not heard of it.
Yeah. It's just some dinky list like RuneScape kind of. But like nowhere near as big.
That's the biggest reduction I think you could have possibly done to World of Warcraft.
And RuneScape.
Yeah. So yeah, we went. I think we went back there and we stayed up till like 5 o'clock, and like
Oh, dude, probably way later.
And you know what? That was the first time that I had been back in the Red Room, and the coolest thing, as soon as we walked back there, I was immediately like, it was immediately like, oh, this is real. What did I see? The first thing I walked into the Red Room, your dad's painting.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So back in 2009, which this was probably that year, right around the documentary airing, my dad had painted these beings, and I posted them on Twitter. Like, you've probably seen them if you're here now listening to Bledsoe Said So podcast. That felt good. Anyway, yeah, so he painted these beings, and we had them like hung up on the wall for a few years. And yeah, that was fun conversation for like family guests. It was like, what the heck is that weird thing on the wall?
Yeah, I mean,
like my Christian.
Yeah. Like it I mean, it was a little jarring, but because you guys had like prepped me with that conversation, I was like, oh, okay. So I get it now. But the first one that I saw was the one of the small being with the red eyes.
Yeah.
And like, that was pretty immediate confirmation. Oh my gosh, dude. And also you have to remember, this was really my first introduction into this world, period.
Plus, you were 14 years old.
I was very young. I think I was 13.
Nah, dude, you were a freshman when you started coming over.
Okay.
Remember,
right, I'll take your word for it.
Dude, trust me. Remember, I knew the host of Yo Mama. That was 15 years ago.
What was his name again?
Wilbur Valderrama.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that was 15 years ago. I watched that show. I just remember. Anyway, so yeah, you were 14 years old. I was only 13 when this stuff happened. Very weird. How did you, like, tell me the truth?
Okay, I will.
In your head, were you like freaking out?
I was freaking out in like just generally like scared way. But here's the thing. I
remember that.
You do?
Yeah.
Because
You were freaked.
There was apart from that initial like, oh, they're pulling my leg. I always believed it, always, because it was unlike any story I had ever heard. It wasn't. None of it was like the cliche usual stuff, like little green guy flying around in a ship. It was. It wasn't.
I appreciated that.
Yeah. It was nothing like that. It was just so unique and so like real and anyway, yeah. We went back there, and so to answer your question, I was freaking out in a way that was like, I was constantly that whole night. I was looking out the windows the whole night because I was like certain that like a 9-foot tall like 8-legged alien was gonna just like bust in the window and like eat our brains or something.
Probably because we were playing Halo 3.
Yeah. It's probably.
Yeah.
But so in that sense, I was freaking out of like, oh, whoa, this is extraterrestrial, like ultra terrestrial stuff.
Yeah, dude.
So but other than that, like I was just so intrigued. I mean, couldn't have been more intrigued. It's the most interesting thing I've ever heard of or been a part of.
I'm going to agree there, but I'm biased.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You are a little biased.
Yeah, I'm biased.
So, I want to know.
Okay.
Why did you panic so badly when Jeremy's like, probably aliens,
because I thought it would scare you away. Like my fiance, same scenario, and I'll have her on some time in the future to tell it. She's my sister's best friend, and my sister is like, hey, Ryan, come tell her about the alien stuff. And I'm like, oh God. I start panicking.
This was before y'all were dating?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I didn't want to tell her about it. It's because it's like, oh, I've got this one on the hook. I don't want to scare him away. Friend, I like this girl, whatever. It's like, this is real stuff. It's that avoidance. Like, I don't want to, I do that in my adult life. Like I'll sometimes know somebody for a year before I feel comfortable enough to tell them about this stuff. Because there's some real heavy stuff. It freaks people out. It challenges everything they think they know. It's
arguably the heaviest of things because of the fact that it challenges everything they know. I mean, obviously there's plenty of heavy topics, but this is it basically flips reality on its head.
Yeah.
It really changes your life. From the moment that you find out about it, it changes your life. So one follow-up question. So Emily had never said anything to Jenny about it?
No, and you know what's the funny thing? And again, I want to reiterate, I will have her on to tell this full story.
By the way, Emily is Ryan's little younger sister,
baby sister,
Emily Bledsoe, and then Jenny is
my
fiance.
So
she never told Jenny.
No, she didn't. But the funny thing is, so Jenny had moved here from Florida, didn't even know my family yet, and at school she started hearing about the crazy Bledsoes. So she knew. She already knew. And
that's wild.
Yeah, and she was just like waiting for us to bring it up. And then Emily came to me, and it was like this, we kind of liked each other, whatever. We were younger, and here we are, we're engaged now. But back then, I just kind of was like crushing, and
I was crushing.
Yeah, man. Dude, I mean, what can I say?
Back then, I was 15. I was crushing.
I mean, come on. What can I say? Anyway, so so Emily asked me to tell the story, and I was like, oh God, no, I'm gonna ruin my chance forever. And I was just kind of like, didn't want to tell her. And that's kind of been the process even till now. At almost 28 years old, is it's like I want to know somebody for 6 months to a year before I feel comfortable to tell them these heavy things, because it can make or break a relationship. Because here's the thing, for the listener out there, you're free to listen. You're free to just kind of feel if this resonates with you, and believe it, don't believe it, whatever. But I don't have that choice because I lived it. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel so hesitant to tell people.
I feel that, and it's crazy.
I can't take it back.
It's like once the cat's out of the bag,
or the genie's out of the bottle. Yeah,
that's what I was looking for.
Yeah,
and I couldn't remember it because as we've already established, I have a really bad memory. That's crazy. So Jenny, like heard the rumors going around the school about the quote unquote crazy Bledsoes.
Yeah.
I never heard any of it. I never heard any.
Because you were at the Crazy Bledsoe's house.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like pretty much immediately. I mean, we were pretty much immediately friends.
Yeah.
Except I ghosted you and said my mom wouldn't let me come over. But
dude, you know why, right?
Why?
You were probably playing Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, I probably was. That's might be my favorite video game of all time, by the way. And I had never played Kingdom Hearts ever.
You know what, man?
What?
I'll have to check it out.
Oh my god! I should have told you that. Yeah, Ryan and Jeremy. This was like right when Kingdom Hearts 2 had first come out.
Yeah. Ryan
and Jeremy were both like obsessing over it. I had never played Final Fantasy. I was like, I never even had a PlayStation at that point.
But dude, you've seen a Disney movie.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the only prerequisite for playing Kingdom Hearts, by the way. Like,
yeah, man.
If you've never played Kingdom Hearts and you've seen a Disney movie, any of them, you could have seen like Air Bud. It's okay. Play Kingdom Hearts.
Dude, I love that movie.
Yeah, I know. It's like, but so anyway, yeah. So they're obsessing over this Kingdom Hearts game, and they probably talked to me about it for like a week straight. I didn't own a PlayStation, and from that point forward, dude, my parents wouldn't even let me play Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Dude, weren't you like not allowed to have Pokemon cards?
For a minute, yeah. For a minute, I wasn't. Which goes back to the whole like Christian, the way that stuff can
respectfully
be a little limiting, and yeah. But so yeah, it was like for a while, my parents weren't cool with me like having Pokemon cards or playing Super Smash Bros or whatever. Which like I still did it anyway. Like I always played, but they talked about this game so much that I was like, I have to find a way to get a PlayStation and get this game because they won't stop talking about it. And
dude, it's that good.
As a 13, 14-year-old kid, getting like, dude, a PS2 at the time was like $300. And then the game is $60. So I like mowed a bunch of lawns or something.
Yeah, dude, you did that all the time. Hey, man, want to hang out? Nah, man, Dad's making me mow the lawn. Dude, you know that's true.
Oh, it's so true.
Oh, yeah.
I should have just used
Dude, I'd be there, and you'd be waking up the next morning after we stay up all night gaming, and you're like picking up sticks and stuff in the yard, dude.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I kind of repressed that a little bit because I hated doing it so much.
Yeah, dude.
But no, I'm pretty sure like you know what it was? I like went door to door in my neighborhood and was basically just like, hey, do you like need anything?
Dude, hold on. You know what's funny about this, bro?
What?
Your brother is building a lawn mowing enterprise.
Literally. Like he's that's a real thing. Why is
dude, he's like making this huge hustle about landscaping, and I don't know, I just thought that was funny.
You're kind of like making me have an epiphany that my family is solely based around doing yard work.
Yeah.
Like growing up, my dad was obsessed with doing yard work. My brother now quit his like stable good job because he just wants to cut yards. That's like what he wants,
which is
to do.
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
No, but like it's super cool.
But anyway, I got the Kingdom Hearts game. Okay, that's the moral of the story. I made the money. Okay,
and here we are today.
Over
at Kingdom Hearts. All right, you happy?
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Okay, so let's bring it back a little bit to like the weird stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what this.
Do you remember?
Are we on the UFO podcast?
Yeah, dude, we're on Bledsoe Setso right now. Yeah, we're not on. We're not even on like our future side podcast.
I thought we were on the Kingdom Hearts podcast.
No, dude, I thought we were on the Steven Universe podcast.
Those are the same podcast.
Oh.
It's called the
we
Stingdom Hearts
technically
podcast.
are recording for Bledsoe Setso right now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so that means like occasionally we do got to talk about like UFOs and stuff. So
occasionally.
Do you remember what we talked about that night? Do you remember like what we told you?
Oh, dude.
I mean, the documentary is out, so if you don't remember, just say I don't know the.
You know what the funny? I'm glad you asked me that because a really funny thing happened, and it happened with you, Jeremy, and your dad you all did like the exact same thing. Whenever I was like, I was inquisitive. I was like, okay, I have to know what's going on. And you all did this thing where you like sighed and you're like, where do I start? Like,
yeah, kind of like recording tonight. It's like,
where do we start?
Where do we start?
Yeah. And so I remember the first thing was we went into the red room and your dad just like, it was so epic. I can't, it was so epic because he's in his recliner. You and me are on the couch,
Yeah, dude.
and it was like campfire story time. It was like your dad literally told the entire story of the Cape Fear River abduction.
Yeah, and just a quick little plug for the listener who doesn't know or is not fully familiar. In 2008, a documentary aired about my father, Christopher Bledsoe Sr., and it's called UFOs Over Earth. And that's a whole nother topic. You know, we'll get into that. It was
called the Fayetteville Incident.
That's
another one.
Episode title.
Okay.
The show was called UFOs Over Earth. The Fayetteville Incident, episode 1. They did like one little limited run season and then they canceled it. And that's like, we're not going to get crazy into the details. That could be a whole episode. I'm going to bring my dad on for that episode.
Oh, yeah. So
yeah, I'm going to interview my dad, dude.
Yeah, that's going to be so epic. Real quick, we do want to let the listener know, like, we're going to kind of ease into this, but we do fully plan on eventually telling the full Bledsoe story. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the complete story.
That's kind of like the idea
of
this.
It's kind of like the entire reason we made this podcast.
Yeah, we'll get there.
You know
Just
what?
hang with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what, man? I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you know what, dude? Okay.
Okay. Yeah. But no. So I mean, yeah, I got the full spiel right then and there from your dad, like firsthand, and. I mean, I was speechless. My jaw's on the floor.
Dude.
I don't know how. I don't want to go like too into the details of like specifically everything that he told me because we're going to have him on and we're going to comprehensively break this story down and talk about everything.
Yeah. Do you remember that night? Okay. So in Fayetteville, where we hailed from, there was this really cool idea. I don't think it really survived very long, but it was called Elite Zone. You remember Elite Zone, dude?
No, hey, Elite Zone Prime?
Oh, yeah. So Elite Zone was this, like, real business, and what they did was they just bought, like, a bunch of video game consoles, Xboxes, PlayStations, computers, whatever, and you paid, like, it was like $2 an hour, and you could play any of their consoles, and it was just this super cool thing, and it was like an all-night venue, 24-hour, whatever. And
also a really cool thing about it is it was like in a mall.
Yeah.
So you're like walking around a mall and everything is closed. Alex just pulled up a picture of it and that's
sick.
Legendary.
Yeah, dude, we spent so many summer nights there.
You're walking through like an empty mall and then there's one thing open and it's Elite Zone.
Elite Zone. How many Battlefield 3 nights did we have, dude?
Oh.
And
they had every energy drink you could possibly think of.
Oh, yeah.
I think
and ones you didn't know existed.
I think some of them they made.
Do you remember Ball? B-A-W?
B-A-W-L. B-A-W-L. It was like a purple bottle.
Yeah.
It came in like a purple bottle.
Yeah, that was
See,
weird.
for some reason, I remember that. Of all the things I could remember or forget, I remember Ball.
Oh, dude.
And what the bottle
I don't think I
looked
ever had
like.
one.
Really?
No. Anyway, so there was one night. Remember me, you, and Jacob went there one night, and we probably stayed there till like 2 in the morning, whatever, super late. Jacob's driving. He drives us back, and Jacob is our friend that we.
Jacob is our
he's
best
like
friend.
Our third
Yeah.
guy. Like, you know, the three of us always hang out together.
Oh,
And
yeah.
anyway, so we're driving back to Jacob's house, and at this time he has a wife and a kid. We're like in our early 20s. You know, we're definitely adults at this point. Driving back to the house, we're out front of the house, just talking for a while. He's not ready to like go in and, you know, park for the night, whatever. Do you remember when we saw like 8 lights in the sky that night, and we just stood there for hours? It felt like just watching them like move around in the night sky.
Absolutely. I think I'm fairly certain that was it was definitely one of the first times I had ever seen orbs or UFOs. like one of the first. I may have seen. I think I'm pretty sure I saw some things at your house prior to that, but I know for sure we sat out in Jacob's front yard, and I think we just like hung out like on the back of his truck or something.
Yeah,
or, like the
yeah,
back of the
in his front yard.
yeah, and it's like what, like 3 a.m. I mean, it's
Probably.
2 or 3 a.m.
The lead zone night, dude. It was always late.
Yeah, and and I think you pointed it out.
Yeah.
Because
Dude, I counted 8. I always count these things.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I don't even remember there was that many. I remember there were so many that I was afraid to count.
Dude, your jaw was on the floor.
Absolutely, I was mind blown.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hanging out in Jacob's front in like his driveway, and then Ryan, you know, always scanning the skies. Always. Ryan's like, dude, look. We turn around, we look up, and I immediately
They were beneath the clouds.
They were. It was a cloudy night.
Yes.
There were yeah, and we see many UFOs.
Yeah.
I don't know that I ever like counted them, but 8 is a lot. That's probably the most I've ever seen at once.
Dude, the most I've ever seen at once was 15, and that was when Nick Hinton was at my house, and that will be a really awesome future guest. And you guys will meet. It'll be super cool. But
I'm very excited to meet Nick Hinton. I don't know like the most about him yet, but we've chatted a little bit, and he is awesome. I can't wait to have him on as a guest. That's going to be incredible. Yeah, dude, 15 orbs like floating around in the sky. Like any normal person would see that, and it would probably drive them insane.
They'd break.
But for you, it's like Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's like a normal thing.
You know, and sometimes it's a Friday.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You know what? But you know what? It brings up a good point, though. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've been close to you. I've been a close friend of yours more than half my life.
Yeah.
And being so close to somebody, sometimes you don't think to ask like the super obvious questions. Because, like, I mean, we've talked about almost everything there is.
Because you're used to it, right?
Exactly. It's like I'm immersed in it all the time, so I don't think to ask you like some of the questions that would be really big but super simple. So I want to. Are you cool if I ask you like a kind of a softball question? But you can go as big as you want,
dude. I'm ready.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I just kind of want to know. Now it might not be so softball. It might be kind of heavy. But, like, being an experiencer, do you ever, I don't know, I just kind of want to know, do you have any, like, regrets towards being an experiencer? Do you see it as wholly a positive experience? Is it, no pun intended, by the way, experience? Is it like, you know, I just kind of want to know, do you feel like it's changed you for the better, or do you have any regrets associated? Like, I don't know what it's like. This is literally like your life, man. Like this is every day. And I see it in like snippets every now and then, but like, what is it like?
It's like this, you know, my brain can't process, because this happened in my formative years, right? I was literally 13. I mean, what were you thinking about when you were 13?
Literally
MTV, dude. You know, like,
MTV, you know? Next.
Yeah, or Yo Mama. Anyway, you know, this happened to me at such a young age that as an adult, my brain can't process someone not understanding this, thinking about this, and in some way, you know, experiencing this.
Was that a pun?
I guess. No.
No,
I kind of walked into that one. But, you know, it's just like, I don't know. I see the world different. You know, the way I see the world is this. I saw these lights. I saw a being. I'll go into that story later. I've seen several very highly strange things. I had NASA calling me when I was 15, when I was 16, when I was 22. Like, tell me about the sighting your dad reported to us last week. You know, the way I see things is so big picture. I don't just like go to work and come home and just, that's it. You know, what's going on in my head is like, what's the fate of humanity?
Oh my
You know what I mean? There's these things in our airspace that the government is now kind of slowly coming out and saying like they're scary. They're jamming us and like this. And I don't know. They healed my dad of his disease. They healed my dad of Crohn's.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know that. Like,
yeah, well, they do.
there are so many remarkable layers.
It's in the documentary.
Is it?
Yeah.
There's so many remarkable layers to this story. Like, you could literally make an entire podcast about it.
Dude. No, but like, hear me out though.
Yeah.
Most people, when they Google UFOs, they look at it on a screen. They read stuff about it. Most have not really seen them. And they go on about their life.
Yeah.
There's not really that many people in the world who think about this kind of thing on a daily basis. Like, what's out there? For those kinds of people, it's usually like, go to church, there's a God, go home, but you don't question, you don't think about it. When I was 13, my reality was pulled apart because I saw things that are not supposed to be real. So on a daily basis, what's concerning to me is like, what's the next stage of global consciousness? You know, most
people wouldn't even know what that means. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
most people it wouldn't even register to them.
Yeah, let me just put it this way: I see things different.
Yeah,
I see the very big picture, and I find myself thinking like, what's the fundamental nature of reality? Because I've seen things that were like magic, dude. These things are magical.
That's so cool.
You know, let me just tell you a quick little story.
Yeah.
Kind of ease the viewer into some of the high strangeness.
This episode's so all over the place.
It is, but you know what? It's episode 1.
I'm
man.
having so much fun.
Yeah, we're
gonna get it together, but
we're putting the coal in the fire and we're getting the train on the tracks. You know what I mean?
Best. Tell me a story, Ryan.
Okay. When I was about 22, 23, you know, I was a young buck. I'm still young, but I was younger. You know what I mean? I was in my room with my other amigo, who you know very well and hold dear to your heart, Alex Hodge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we were chilling. And it was, again, like, you know, I'm only 27, so I didn't graduate college until, I don't know, 21, 22. I was a late grad. Most of my life has been school at this point, you know? And it's common sense. You have summer break, and you just can, like, stay up, and we don't have jobs, whatever.
Play Halo 3.
Play Halo 3, yeah. Or Halo 4, dude. That came out when I was in college.
Not quite as good, but still pretty good.
Anyway, so me and Alex were both on like summer break in college, and we were staying up really late one night just talking about this stuff, and he was super into it. And something touched me. Seriously, like something touched my ribs, but nothing was visible, and it freaked me out. Obviously, I knew what it was. I mean, I grew up with a documentary about my family and like literally CIA cell phone numbers.
Okay, hang on. So you're hanging out with Alex. You're at your house?
Yeah.
And you feel something touch you, and
something touched me.
But do you instantly know? Like
I know exactly what it was.
Wow. Okay, sorry. Continue.
And then I look up, and Alex looks up, and we both looked at each other face to face and knew that we saw the same thing. And when we looked up, after I was touched, I said, "Oh my God, I was touched." And we look up, and I saw one of those short entities like my dad painted in the corner of the room, and Alex saw it. And it was translucent, kind of like glass. There was no glare. It had these big round eyes. I could see arms and legs, head. I couldn't see like a mouth. It wasn't that detailed, but it was there. And then it just disappeared. And that was one of my face-to-face entity experiences.
Yeah,
it was like magic.
This is one of the many reasons I'm so stoked to do this podcast, because like, full disclosure, I knew about that story. Like, yeah. I knew that had happened, but like, I didn't know all of those details. Like, you literally saw a complete outline that resembled the painting that your dad, like, I didn't know it's the same size and stature of that painting.
Now, the reason I say the painting is just so the viewer, and like, I've posted this on Twitter, it's all over the internet. Just Google like Chris Bledsoe alien painting or something, and you'll see it. The reason I say that is so that you can see this painting and have a visual representation of what I saw. It looked exactly like that. It was the same being. My brother Chris Jr. saw it. My dad saw it. I saw it. Alex Hodge saw it. That's 4 people on my property who have seen the same entity. And by the way, my cousin Stephanie saw the lady, which is a totally deep topic we'll get into later. And
we just keep teasing them with like this story. We'll talk about it later.
I mean,
this
it's 14 years. Like it
it's
will take an entire podcast to get this stuff out there.
Yeah,
right?
and we're going to. We've got plans to dive into each and every one of these stories. That's why we're here.
Do you know how many hundreds or realistically thousands of people have asked us in the last decade and a half, like, when's your book coming out? Where can I find more information on you? When's your Hollywood movie coming out? That's, this, and there is a Hollywood thing, but like who knows if it'll ever happen? We'll talk about that later too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what I tell people when they're like, where can I find more information on you? I'm like, I don't know. Tune into like the Jimmy Church interview my dad did, and then like the Richard Dolan one, and like I was on Tinfoil Hat, and then I did this one and that one, and like I was on Black Pill.
There's this YouTube link that you have to have a password
and this guy
for.
wrote an article about my dad, and in 14 years, my family has never produced anything to just interface directly with the world and tell our story. We've always been like waiting for someone else to do it. And I don't know. I see this podcast as a way, like, you know what? The internet is so far-reaching. It's like, why not just tell it myself?
Exactly. This is the best medium to do it. Like, forget it. Who reads books?
You want to hear something crazy?
What?
Jordan Peele almost made a movie about my family.
Jordan Peele?
Jordan Peele.
Of Key and Peele?
Yeah.
Of Get Out? Jordan Peele?
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, it didn't happen. He obviously it didn't happen. He got an Oscar from Get Out, and he got so like breakaway in his career from that he was too busy. But
that movie's so awesome.
Oh my God, yeah, it is. I love Get Out, but yeah. So that's just a crazy rabbit hole of like the Conjuring people, and I know you know that. Just for the listener who doesn't, the twin brothers who wrote The Conjuring 1 and 2, which are amazing horror films.
What are their names again?
Chad and Carrie Hayes.
Chad and Carrie Hayes.
Yeah, for like 9 years, they've been talking to us about making a Hollywood series about my family, and it's never happened. It's another topic for another day, but it's like, you know what? I'm tired of waiting on these people. Let's make a podcast, dude.
We're just gonna do it ourselves.
We're gonna do it ourselves.
DIY.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're stoked about it. We're super excited. We have all sorts of plans. I think from now on we'll probably have like themed episodes. Like we want to talk specifically. We want to take like entire episodes to talk about some of these constructs. And I think the plan is for like some of the less initiated people that might not be super familiar with this world and stuff. We're gonna try to establish a lot of these concepts first. So that way, if we're throwing around words like,
we're gonna build some building blocks.
Yeah, we're kind of like creating a universe sort of thing here.
A Steven universe? I'm just kidding.
My God.
I just feel like how cool would this be, right? 13-year-old me has this crazy experience, and then I spend the next 14 years, which is literally more than half of my life, the next 14 years of my life diving into like psychology. Dude, when the Discovery Channel did the documentary, they brought in a one of John Mack's like students, which John Mack is one of the most prolific like UFO hypnotic regressionists of all time. He died a decade or two ago. Prolific dude. One of his students hypnotically regressed my father for the Discovery Channel interview.
I remember seeing the interview, but I didn't know
Michael O'Connell. Yeah, and rest in peace. He has also passed.
Oh, wow.
But I met this man at 14. He literally puts my dad in this trance to recall the story. And that impacted me so profoundly that I went and got a psychology degree in college. Like that, just think about how that like changed my life.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I got a religion minor because and I was totally like a C/B average in psychology because I just hated college, right? Like totally like slacker and just like cram and then get A's on most of my tests. But like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure I failed every class I took in college, so I'm right there with you.
Hey, you know what? You had fun though.
I had fun.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
But in my psychology studies, I found myself taking the religion courses because I had to know like the academic history of all this stuff. And I took so many religion courses. And I don't mean like just to kind of walk one half step back. I don't mean like pull out your Bible and worship. That's not what the academy religion studies are. It's like
You are studying religion at
the
large.
history of religion,
Yeah.
like Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, blah blah blah, Zoroastrianism. Yeah, like I was studying world religions, and I took so many of these courses, and I had a straight A average in the religion courses. As like, oh man, I'm about to graduate, I need all these classes. I think I took like 6 religion classes, and the chair of the religion department held me after one of his classes one day, and he said, if you just take one more class, you can graduate with a minor. And I was like,
Okay.
you got a deal, man. Because I was so interested in trying to demystify like the ancient origins of the phenomenon and people describing angels and esoteric topics. And that's what's gotten me here today is the psychology, the religion, literally being touched by entities. And I've spent more than half of my life diving into just crazy esoteric topics because I feel like I have been trying to understand all the literature about what I experienced.
Dude, you went on a complete knowledge quest.
Dude,
Like
I'm a monk.
for years. Like for years, you
Yeah.
literally, it's like it's all been kind of leading up to this. Like it has. Like you, throughout all of those experiences, it gave you the tools to like
Yeah.
really know what you're talking about. Because I
That
feel
does sound cool, dude.
because I feel like
Keep talking.
Keep talking. Can I from now on refer to you as like Monk Bledsoe? Do monks have titles? Whatever, who cares?
Nah,
Anyway.
let's keep it humble, dude. You can just call me Bledsoe said so.
Hey, that's the perfect way to end it right there.
Yeah. Mr. Bledsoe. You only can call me Mr. Bledsoe. I'm just kidding.
All right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. That's all right, man. I like it. I like that.
But in all seriousness, we're going to do something a little different. You know when you look up UFOs on the internet and like you hear all these stories of people who saw a UFO or like, no disrespect to anybody, like Betty and Barney Hill in the 60s, they have the story about like being abducted and what do you get? You always get this fact-based, right? Whether it's fact or not, it's always like these bullet points like in 1961, they saw a craft, and then they were taken on board, and then this and that. And like, you never get anything candid, right?
Yeah, it's like very detached.
It's always very detached. Like, it's just this story that you can read on a screen. And what I'm trying to do here is I just want to show you that we're normal people.
Yeah, it's not
that live weird experiences.
Yeah, and those weird experiences don't have to like make you a weird person or make your entire life a weird thing. Would you say that you have those things kind of compartmentalized? Like you have
Oh, dude. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. When I was like 22, 23, in my right hand, I'm at a bar mitzvah in New York City. In my right hand, I'm holding, because like at bar mitzvahs, you do the lineups where you dance and you hold hands. It's really cool, but, kind of cheesy. In my right hand, I'm holding the hand of a literal CIA assassin. In my left hand, the deputy director of the CIA.
Holy shit.
Oh, and we were invited to this bar mitzvah because it was Robin Leach's grandson, who was a super sweet kid, and they heard about my dad and the phenomenon, and they really just took a liking to us. And there's some other like things there, and they invited us just because of that. Like I've brushed some shoulders with some crazy powerful people. Yeah, I compartmentalize parts of my life, man.
You kind of have to, I guess.
Yeah, dude, I've met billionaires. I've met politicians. I've met spies. I've met the leader of the spies. I've met.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude. Just I could go on and on about the crazy things that happened to me that just totally, just like shatter my normal way of thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or would shatter anybody's normal way of thinking. Because I'm a normal dude. I'm not like, I'm not going out there to Hollywood and like auditioning to be famous. Just some weird stuff happened to me.
Yeah.
And I grew up with, a famous dad in this niche or whatever. And it's just totally changed my life. And for the first time, I just want to show people that being an experiencer doesn't mean you're like a cult leader or you're like, You know, I'm not a spy like some people say. I'm a CIA shill. Anyway, I just want to show the world that just because we see these crazy weird things, that doesn't mean we're not normal people.
For
You know,
sure.
I played all the same video games as every other kid my age. I watched all the same movies. You know what, dude?
Yeah.
Damn, if I don't love some Dragon Ball Z, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys. So you literally have to compartmentalize.
They're just a normal. Yeah, just my life is all compartmentalization, and you know, in a way, doing this podcast is like therapy for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I can't go outside of my home, and like I can't like call my uncle who I'm super close with, and we're so close, or my aunt, and then like talk about the stuff. You know why? Because it's taboo. Because it's weird. It doesn't fit.
And I mean, that's weird in itself. Like your own family not being able to talk to them about certain things. Like
Yeah.
that's weird in itself.
So many of my friends who I'm still friends with to this day, if I talk about it, they roll their eyes. And then I go tweet and like, you know, there's thousands of people out there who love it, and it's so weird for me. It just kind of like shatters my like. But I just want my family to listen to me.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Yeah.
just want my friends to listen to me. It's like I don't even know these people behind the screen. I don't even know all these people out there. I mean, they're nice, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it totally makes me compartmentalize. You know, like I'm just a normal dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what we're trying to get across here.
We're gonna keep it real.
We're gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
That should be the name of episode 1.
Ooh, let's keep it real.
Keeping it real.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're gonna go forward with a clean conscience.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Let's end it there.
All right.
All right. We love you all. Thank you so much for listening. And should we have a catchphrase for leaving? How about we go wah 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 wah? That's what we do when we warm up.
Wah 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 wah.
Okay.
Gotta get our arpeggios in.
Bye, guys.
Weird things happen in the backyard of the Bledsoe house.